Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's spotlight is about grid layout, footer, and the header of our application. Let's create here a new composable grid layout. In Jetpack Compose, there is a grid layout composable, but I don't want my grid layout to be scrollable. Therefore, I'm going to implement a new one from scratch. So let's provide here the columns, the items. Basically, it's the data source for this grid layout, generic of type T. So we have to add here T, the modifier to make it reusable, and the content of the grid layout. A composable that takes in parameter the item of type T, representing each item, and the index of this particular item. It's pretty simple actually. We have to add colon here. We start to define first of all the list of rows, the number of items divided by the number of columns. If the remainder of the Florin division of columns is greater than 0, we have to do the rows plus 1. Now let's iterate through rows. Let's assign the first index. Basically, it's row ID time the columns. Let's import row. For the modifier, I don't think we need this. And now let's construct the other rows. Another for loop. We'll start from 0 until the number of columns. Let's assign here column ID. Let's initialize here the current index. Basically, it's the first index plus the column ID. And let's wrap the item in a box, add here a modifier, fill the max width, and the weight of this item should be 1. Inside the box, we have to check here if the index is less than the number of items. We can put here the content of our item, and we have to fill, of course, the composable with the item index and the index as the second argument. Let's do here a preview for this composable. Let's declare here the items, an array from 0 to 10, convert it to lists. Let's wrap the whole thing into colon to fill the max size. Add text here, for example, products. Let's give it some styling. Body medium. Let's add here some padding, all equal 15 density pixels. Let's add the grid layout. The first argument is colon equal 2. Let's say, for example, we're going to place 2 items per row. The items, the modifier, let's access the parameter item. And we don't need actually the index. The item here, just a text, the item.toString, and the body medium and the color is on background. Let's see the composable. Let's wrap the whole thing into a card. It is a little bit acceptable with some padding. I don't know, we can do just 10 if you will. Let's add here another padding. I think that's pretty much it. It looks good. Now we are done building the grid layout. We'll use this grid layout in our home screen under the products fragment. The next component is going to be the footer. Nothing substantial. One parameter here, the footer height. Let's wrap everything into a box because basically it's just a normal box with a modifier. Let's fill the max width with the background of primary and with the height of footer height. Inside the box, we want just to do the copyright. We have defined earlier the copyright from the string resource and some styling to the text. Let's see what this footer is going to look like. Footer height, we can set here, for example, 90 density pixels. To make it look like a footer, let's do here box, modifier, fill max size, or instead do colon and vertical arrangement, space between, and let's add here a spacer with whatever. The next component, which is the last component for this video, it will be for the header. The header, the same thing as we have proceeded previously in the Vue3 application. It consists of a logo, search input as a placeholder, and the user menu. Let's create here a new component. Let's call it header. The first parameter is the modifier for usability. The callback function, when the user is gonna click on the logo, the search input placeholder or composable. It's basically the same thing as we have done in the Vue3 application. And the user menu. You can call it toolbar if you will, according to the Vue3 application. Let's wrap everything in surface. Let's apply the tonal elevation for density pixels, the shadow elevation with the same value. The shape of this surface is rectangle shape. Modifier, fill, max size. So we have to replicate the same layout as we have done in Vue3. We will wrap everything in a box. The first component, it has to be the background of our surface. It consists of an SVG file. So in order to do so, we have to wrap everything in a box, and let's put the image as a background. Let's import resource. Make sure to import the correct one, CoreUI. The name of the background image, it's blob background. As you can see here, we have the image. We don't care actually about the content description, although the content scale should be, in this case, crop. And for the modifier, we have to fill the max size to make it like a background. This is the first element because we are using box. We're going to stack components on top of each other. The second component, the search input, let's wrap it in a box. Let's call here search input. We have to customize this box. Basically, we will add some padding. It should have the top priority of the Z index. Let's assign it 20. Why we have assigned 20? Because we need to do the autocomplete for search input, and the list should be on the top of the image or other components, and should be on the top again of the animated text. The next component consists of the logo as well as the user menu. Let's wrap everything into column. Let's add some padding, a row, and to space between the logo and the user menu. The row should actually fill the max width. Add some padding to the row. Let's bring it down a little bit. For the horizontal arrangement space between, as I said before, the first item in this row is the logo. It has to be clickable. Drawable should be logo, I think. We have to add here the content description for testing purposes. String resource, app name. Let's resize this required size. I think 60 density pixels is more than enough. And let's make it clickable on logo click. The second composable is the user menu. And again, you can call it user menu or toolbar if you will. In the next row, so if you do remember here, we have column. So this is the first row. It consists of the logo as well as the user menu. For the second row, we have to add here the typing text. Let's add a modifier. It should fill the max size and the content alignment center. Place the typing text, or typing text goes here. That's gonna wrap up actually our today's video. For the next tutorial or the next video, we will build the typing text as well as the loading indicator for our application. Then we will come back here to this composable to preview the header. I hope you liked the video. See you in the next one. Happy coding!